Hiya. I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and then it dawned on me that actually there is something that I wanted to share with him. And then I decided to make a video and share it with you too. And this is, how do you know that a decision that you're making is actually right for you? And what I want to introduce here is the understanding that within us, we have two main entities. We have the unconscious mind, which is the most incredible thing you can ever get to know within you. The unconscious mind has a few really important jobs. One of them is to remember all of your memories, all of your experiences, everything that you've ever been through, it remembers. And it puts it to one side so that it's not constantly in your face. And when it feels that now there is a time for you to learn something from one of the experiences that you, like negative experiences that you had before, it brings it back to the surface so that you can remember it, think about it, do your learnings, and then put it back without the emotion. So if I'll just make that point clear again, or clearer, is the unconscious mind keeps and saves all of your memories, all of your experiences, the good ones and the bad ones. The ones that you deem bad ones, they're probably something that there's still some raw emotion going on. And so it keeps it to one side until one day it feels that you've done enough, that you've progressed enough in your life to actually be able to now face whatever that was, deal with it, learn from it, put it back without the emotion. So that's just one job of the unconscious mind. The other job of the unconscious mind is that it holds the blueprint of the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, mentally, which means that anything and everything that you do, the unconscious mind is constantly steering you in the right direction towards the blueprint of the best version of yourself. The unconscious mind is huge, but it's quiet. And for you to really know that you are following your unconscious mind, you need to learn to recognize this gut feel, because the gut feel means that this is the unconscious mind, meaning you are following the right thing for you. On the other hand of the unconscious mind, we have the negative voice. Now, the negative voice is this thing that we have in our DNA, and I'm repeating a sentence that I think we've all heard before, but the negative voice is something that started way back when we were still on the savannah, in the caves. It's that voice that basically made sure that when we left the cave, that we were really worried. We knew that we needed to be really conscious, because if we weren't, there were lots of saber-toothed tigers out there willing to have us for dinner. So this feeling of worry, of negative, and this unsettled feeling, it's all there to protect us. Now, these days, there's not as many tigers around, unfortunately, but the negative voice is still doing its thing. So just understand this. The negative voice, the only job that it has is for you to keep you safe, to make sure that you are not doing what you think you want to do. So how do we use this kind of information? So say all of a sudden, one day you're sitting there thinking about life, and then you think to yourself, oh, I want to go and travel the world. Now, what tends to happen is, as soon as you have this kind of thought, douche, negative voice comes into play and says, no, it's going to be awful. You're going to lose all your money. You're going to, get robbed. And, how are you going to understand people's cultures and languages, and, what you're going to... It basically gives you a string of negative thoughts. Now, the thought was just a thought. The negative voice is now already doing its thing of telling you, actually, don't do what you just thought that you should do. But to make sure that this is something that is really right for you, and that there is that you should actually follow it up, put it to the test of figuring out, is it coming from my gut? So how do you recognize something that is coming from your gut? Think back to an experience or a time in your life that you needed to make a decision and you just knew it was just right. There was no if, buts, maybes. There was none of that. Something came up, you make the decision, and it felt just right. When it feels just right like this is definitely coming from the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind has steered you in the right direction. You took it on, you listened, you executed, and it was perfect. So now that you're thinking about this trip idea, think, okay, is it coming from the same place? The gut feel. So when you do realize that there is something that is coming from the gut feel, then that is the right thing for you to do. Either this is the next best thing that can happen for you, or that it will give you the next lesson that you must learn in life. And after you've learned that lesson, you will get to that best place that you can get to in life, which means that it's the best thing. And listening to the negative voice is a mistake we all fall into. I'm not saying that, of course, sometimes if you go out there and you feel, oh, there's danger around, of course, that's a negative voice, but it is doing its thing. It keeps you on your toes. It makes sure that you are, you're looking after yourself. So 100% listen to that first. But what I am saying is that the negative voice is overprotective, and it's really protecting us from things that the unconscious mind has already cleared as the good thing for us. So make sure that when you have this kind of internal dialogue, as we all have that, make sure that you're putting it to the right test. Where is this idea coming from? Is it an idea from my gut feel? Is it an idea that the negative voice is now telling me not to do? And if it is, then it also gives you an opportunity to examine your fears. What is this negative voice really telling me? What can you learn from that? For example, say you have a thought of, I'm going to say something to someone. I fancy this person. I want to go and introduce myself. And then your negative voice says, oh, you're going to make a fool of yourself. This person is already taken. They're not going to like you. They're going to make fool of you. Whatever thing your negative voice is telling you. The thing is that if you listen to that, then you're of course not doing anything, because it has done its thing. It stopped you from doing what you thought you were going to do. But if you look at it in a different way, and now you say to yourself, okay, what is it here? What is it that I'm so scared of? What is the worst thing that can happen if I went to that person and told them how I felt, or even just introduced myself, or something of that sort? Most likely you will, if you keep asking yourself why, what's going on, what's making me feel this way, why am I so scared, why am I so uncertain, you will find that maybe you have a fear of rejection, or thinking that you're not good enough to be with this person and stuff like that. But now that you've identified it, you're able to put it on the table and really examine it. Seriously, there is someone that you like. What's the worst that can happen? Go and say hi. They will say hi and nothing will come out of it. Fine. Or they will say hi back and you will start a conversation and you can become friends or whatever. But so often, the negative voice is making things so bad, so negative in our own mind that it keeps us rooted to our place. It means that any fear that we have stays as fear. And what we are trying to say here is actually, okay, you recognize that you have a fear. You can now put it through the test of the unconscious mind, and if it feels right, then just do it. So I hope it's kind of clear. I know that it's a really big topic, and sometimes you really need to hear it again and again, and think about it from different places to actually make sense of it all. But yeah, if you have any questions, or if you want to make a comment or get in touch, then I'm Einav from Untangled Coaching, motivational coach. I'm really happy to be in touch and hear your comments and questions and all of that. So hope to hear from you, and if not, then have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.